Check it, babies. 2025 Panigale V4s and a couple of mods to report. Nice smoky windshield, which I love. Just got a couple of screws sort of put in. I'm going to get the dealer to do that because a fair bit of panel work has to come off. But for now, she looks great. We've got the black tank cover, gas thingy-jiggy, quick action system. Which looks sensational. I've got my gold reservoir tops, and of course the tail tidy looks sensational. Check it. So good, so good. Really makes the bike look slicko. But it's not all good news, I'm afraid. So let me climb aboard this. I'd love to bring you a really exciting kind of new bike day video, you know, pumping the air, walking to the dealership, happy days. By the time you see this video, I might have shown you something along those lines, but look, from the get-go, I've had, probably my worst experience with Ducati. I've owned 10 Ducatis, and this probably, well, definitely, easily my favourite bike. Love it, love it. And I'm doing my break-in miles. I'm up to 690 kilometres, trying to smash out a couple of hundred today. Still loving the bike, but have had a shocking experience. Woo. Oh, I love this thing. I've had a really shocking experience. Now look, I chose a new dealer actually. I chose Ducati Sydney, which is a reasonably new dealership. And if you go back to my first video regarding the test ride of this bike, you will know, you may remember I waxed lyrical, I raved about Ducati Sydney. I gave them a great plug because they were awesome. Gentleman down there looked after me really well, actually. Sort of young sales guy, he was excellent, no complaints. Anyway, when I went to pick the bike up, you may remember from a previous video, you may remember I made a comment. I said, yeah, it was a bit concerning when I turned up, my sales guy wasn't there, he was on a ride, like a bit of gravel, on a Ducati event, and so the main guy, the senior sales guy of the dealership, Tim, was there, and he said, oh, why don't you wait here for your man? And I said, no, it's going to be a couple of hours. And immediately I thought, this guy was thinking I was going to sit there and wait a couple of hours. Like, immediately I'm like, yeah. I said, mate, can you just deliver the bike for me? And this guy had a strange energy about him, and he kind of reluctantly did. You know, he was professional enough and very, very talkative. He took me over the bike, you know, like they do when you buy a new bike, takes you over everything, gets to turn the bike on, and, you know, screen comes on, no problem. Then he turned it off, and then turned it back on again, and went to start the bike, and the screen was blank, and the bike started, so engine's on, bike's on, you hear it all working, but the screen's blank. And there was quite a look of confusion on his face. This went on for 10-15 minutes, turning it off, turning it on, turning it off, turning it on, moving the bike around, you know, fiddling around with cables. He clearly looked pretty concerned and confused because the screen was blank. Anyway, after about 15 minutes, just out of the blue, the screen came on. Just came on, and he looked at me and goes, oh, no, we're good. I said, are you sure? Are you sure, mate? Like, that looks like a problem to me. He goes, no problem at all. It's good to go. I said, are you sure that's not going to happen again? He goes, no, mate, the screen's working fine. Take the bike, you're good. And I must admit, I was a little cynical. Back to my earlier video, you remember me making a remark as I rode off saying, oh, that was weird. The screen didn't come on. And when I was in the dealership and he was showing me around the bike, the bloody screen died. A little worrying. It did eventually come back on again, but it was bizarre. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. Anyway, so I ride the bike home, and what do you think happens The first time I go out on a Sunday ride, screen turns off. It actually turned off mid. I was just riding along like this and it went blank. And I'm out in the whoops, I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I've got no speedo, I've got no gas or mileage indicator, I've got no TFT or display at all, which is actually illegal to ride a bike without like a speedo and all that sort of stuff. Not to mention stressful and, you know, $50,000 premium product. I was pissed. Anyway, I pulled over, I took a video. Here's the video. Here I am after a Sunday ride and out in the middle of nowhere, and look at my screen. I've got no speed, I've got no gear indicator, I've got no nothing. So I took that video and I sent it to the dealer and the young guy who actually sold me the bike. And he was really good. He actually came and picked the bike up. He knew he had to because the bike was illegal. It couldn't be ridden without all that gear on it. So he came and picked it up. A couple of days later, I sort of had to chase him up. A couple of days later, I said, what's going on? He goes, oh, yeah, we fixed it. It's all good. Oh, yeah, how have you fixed it? Oh, we did a factory software upgrade. I said, right. So you didn't replace the screen? He goes, nah. He said, we looked at all the cables, connections. They're all fine. There's no issue with the physical hardware. We did a software update. He said something about your update being out of date or something about December, bikes before December bikes, I don't know, some story. And I said, mate, are you absolutely sure? You're confident that's going to work? He goes, yep, absolutely, no problem, but you're good to go. So look, he dropped the bike back off, which was really cool. I then had to go to work for a week travelling and stuff. Just got back. Yesterday, sun finally came out because it's been raining a fair bit. I went to go for a Saturday afternoon ride, beautiful blue sky day, turned the bike on, screen was blank. And I was really pissed. This is a brand new motorcycle, $50,000, top of the range, one of the most expensive bikes you can buy on earth. And here we go. And we've all had those lemons, cars, bikes, where you just end up spending time and money chasing some gremlin, which you never find. And it's stressful, costs you time and money. You never really get there. Like my Aprilia with its overheating, never solved it, right? Got rid of it. Never buy Aprilia again. Anyway, I ring my man. I'm not going to mention his name because he's actually a good guy, and I don't want anyone judging because he's done the best he could. And he said, look, mate, there's nothing I can do. It's above my level. I said, oh, mate, you obviously can't fix it. You're not prepared to change the screen over. Just give me my money back. Give me a new bike, whatever. Anyway, he rang me back, goes, nah, I can't do that. Above my pay grade. He said, ring service on Monday. So I didn't ring service. I said, get Tim to ring me. The guy who actually sold me and delivered the bike, knowing that it was not working. The senior guy, get him to ring me. Anyway, begrudgingly, an hour later, I get a call from him. And it was a comedy show. I mean, you think listening to me is funny. You wouldn't listen to this guy. What a comedian this bloke is. So, he just talked at me. I just did not shut up. And there were some classic ones there. I said, Tim, mate, what's the story like? What's the plan with the bike? He actually said, I kid you not, he said, look, mate, feel for you, you know, a lot of these bikes go out of the shop, no problem. You're the unlucky one. You got the bad one. He said, there's nothing we can do about it. He said, you're just going to have to, you know, bring it back. We're going to have to look at it again. We'll probably tell you it's fine, particularly if we can't replicate the problem. And we'll give you the bike back. You'll ride it a bit. It'll happen again. You'll get pissed off. You'll send it back. It'll go on. And eventually, you know, you'll have to enforce your consumer rights and probably sue us. That is what he said. I kid you not. I said, Tim, I'm a consumer. I've bought a $50,000 motorcycle. You're telling me I have to fight you to get it fixed. You won't replace the bike. You know, obviously you've had the bike back already and you said you'd fixed it. You won't replace the screen. And that's how this is going to end. I now have to have some stressful fight. He goes, yeah, he goes, Ducati's a public listed company with, you know, hundreds of millions of billions of dollars. You know, I can't just make decisions to sort of help you, otherwise I'll lose my job. So you're just going to have to, you know, bad luck, mate, I feel for you. He said, I feel for you, but you're just going to have to line up and, you know, go through the process, the consumer process, or some policy Ducati process, which he made out to sound like a quite the saga. Anyway, so at one stage he goes, mate, we were really good to you, we can't pick your bike up. I said, Tim, the bike didn't have a speedo. It's illegal. You can't sell a bike without a speedo. Of course you had to come pick the bike up, mate. He made it like he did me this massive favour because he picked my bike up. Anyway, brand new Ducati, which I really love, and you can tell how much I'm in love with the bike. And I'm fighting now because about a third, so I've done 680 or nearly 700 kilometres on the bike. About a third of the time the screen's been blank, so probably about 230, 240 Ks of that it's been blank, and I don't know when it's going to go blank again. I don't know for how long it's going to go blank again, but I sure as hell know it's going to. And he just described it to me on the phone. He goes, mate, it's a gremlin. It's a gremlin, and yeah, there's nothing wrong with the connections. It's a gremlin and bad luck. So that's what I'm up against. And I went to Ducati Sydney because I was a bit frustrated with the bigger Ducati dealership in Sydney that really kind of lost its way a bit. They don't really look after you that well. Like, they never invite me. I've owned 10 Ducatis, or most of them from the other dealership, and they've never invited me to any events or anything. So I went to these guys, and my initial experience was really good. But the moment there's a problem, rather than try and help you, they run a mile. Run a mile. So that's Ducati Sydney, my experience with them. I'll keep you posted. I'll let you know how it sort of turns out. I was hoping by now to be bringing you some awesome videos on the bike, you know, stuff I'm doing, the mods, all the usual stuff I do, but instead I'm bringing you a story of the bike's actually broken. It's unreliable, and you know, it doesn't work. It's failed. The system has failed. Critical system on the bike. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I've written an email. I've sent it to the dealer principal. See how he goes with it, and see what's the reaction. See how they treat me. See if they actually replace the screen or not. But I'm not gonna lie down. I'm gonna fight these buggers, and if I have, I'll go all the way on it. Honestly, I'm so pissed off. I really don't like it when big institutions treat the little consumer like crap. That is what is happening here, and I'm not taking it. I am not taking it. And so anyone considering buying a Ducati, buyer beware. Buyer beware. Make sure the screen's working. Buyer beware. If you're going to Ducati Sydney, buyer beware. Like their own words. You know, we're just a big publicly owned company, and we can't really help you. And we're not really that interested, was the subtext. So buyer beware. If you've got another option to buy your Ducati, I would suggest you take it. And I certainly won't be buying any more bikes from Ducati Sydney. That said, what a machine. It's bloody awesome. It's fast becoming one of my favourite motorcycles of all time. And that's what I want to talk more about when I bring videos in the future. I'll explain why that is the case.